welcome back. Told you we were doing donuts today. September 14th, National Cream-Filled Donut Day. Donuts. Never made donuts. We made stuff close to donuts. And actually this dough recipe for the donuts is very similar to what we did the other day for hot cross buns. It's one of those time-consuming ones where you got to make the dough, then you got to let it rise, then you got to cut it into smaller portions for your donut size, and then let it rise, and then you can fry them and make your donuts. So we got to get started on this one. I'll show you what you need for the dough part of this. Then I thought, okay, well, we can't just make a, what am I gonna just make a whipped cream filled donut, because if you put custard in it, I don't know if that constitutes a cream filled donut. Maybe, because you figure Boston cream is that custard, right, or something like that. Anyway, I'm babbling as usual. What I decided to do was, okay, we have to do a cream in these donuts. Why not do the best cream there is? Cannoli cream. Now remember, way back in the beginning, we did a show where we combined Zeppelis and cannolis and made Zeppanolis. Yeah, that's right. I coined that phrase. I invented that. I don't care if somebody else says they did it first. I did it first because I didn't see it anywhere before I did it. This one, though, I did see a couple of posts online that somebody in the city invented donoli, which is a donut cannoli. So we didn't invent this one. Zeppanoli, I'm not giving up on. That one's mine. Sorry, I don't care. So anyway, that's what we're going to do today, a donoli, a donut cannoli. So let's get started on this. This is what you need for the donut part of it, and then I'll show you later what you need for the cannoli cream filling part of it. Alrighty, but we got to get this dough mixed together so we can start the rising process. Be right back. Okay, for our donut dough today, you'll need 2½ cups of all-purpose flour, an envelope of yeast, 3 tablespoons of sugar, 3/4 cups of milk, 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 2 tablespoons of shortening, 1 egg, and a teaspoon of salt. Alright, so first thing you do is take your milk, make sure it's, I nuked it for about 30 seconds, just so it's warm. You don't want hot, because that's not going to work for you. Because we have to do like we did the other day. Take your packet of yeast, sprinkle that over your warm milk, okay? So that's going to help it to bloom. And then we took a teaspoon of our 3 tablespoons of sugar, and we're just going to sprinkle that on the top of the yeast now, on top of it, okay? And then we're just going to give this a little stir, just to make sure it's all mixed together there. And then let it sit. Put it off to the side, let it sit for about 5 minutes or so, because it's got to bloom, and then we're going to come back and add it to the rest of our stuff. Get your mixer out with your dough hook, because we're using the dough hook again, alrighty? Be right back. While that's blooming, let's put the rest of our stuff in our bowl here. Bread hook. I have our melted butter, okay, our melted shortening, sugar, salt, and I'm just going to move that around a little bit first. It's not doing anything because it's not touching the bottom. Alright, I'm going to have to figure something out. I'm going to have to mix it by hand with a whisk, I think. Anyway, I'm going to add my egg into that as well, okay? Maybe that'll help mix it up a little bit. So anyway, I mixed that by hand then instead. Now, it's been a couple minutes. As you can see, our yeast has bloomed up on the top of our milk here. We're going to add this in, but just on a low speed. Just add your yeast mixture right into that, okay? Alright, so let me just take this off for a second. Actually, you know what? We're not going to slowly add it. We're just going to add it. How about that? Because this is all going to churn now for a bunch of time. With our bread hook on medium, just let that mix. That's going to take 4 or 5 minutes or so until it's just an incorporated dough, okay? In the meantime, get your bowl that you're going to put it in, and a little vegetable oil in your brush. Just brush your bowl, okay, just to put the oil, and then you're going to do like we do when we've done a bunch of other doughs, the bread show, all kinds of stuff. We're going to take our dough out of here when it's ready, put it in a bowl, stick it in here, toss it, coat it with the olive oil, cover with plastic, warm place for at least an hour. It's got to double in size. I do my little trick where I turn my broiler on, not the oven, turn the broiler on about a minute, shut it off, and now you've got some warmth. It's not hot in your oven, it's just warm in your oven. And that's going to make sure that this rises really nice in an hour's time, okay? So we'll be back when this comes out, because then we got to cut it and separate it and rise again and blah, 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 blah. All right, see you in a bit. Okay, as you can see, the dough comes together pretty quick. I mean, it's pretty fast, okay? So we're just going to take this dough off of here. It's tacky, but it's not super sticky, which is good, okay? So what we want to do is get this off of here. We're just going to take it out of our bowl here. Okay, just get all of that out of there. And we're just going to just kind of knead it for a second, make sure it's all together. Make it into a nice even ball. Okay. Over. Perfect. Okay. Nice even ball into our vegetable oil coated bowl here. Just make sure we move that around. Toss it around and make sure you get a nice coating of the vegetable oil on the whole outside. Okay. Now you got this nice ball, cover with plastic, warm place for at least an hour. We're looking for it to double in size, okay? See you then. An hour later. See what I mean? See how it doubled up in size? Just by doing that little trick with the broiler and giving your oven a little warmth to put it in there. So I'm just going to push down to deflate this a little bit here. Okay. And now we're just going to take it out of here. I have a floured surface here, so I'm just going to put this down onto my floured surface. It's not sticky really at all as far as sticking to your fingers. The other day, that dough that we were doing for the hot cross buns, man, that thing was sticking all over the place. Okay. So I'm just kneading this together on the flour here. And now we're going to dust our rolling pin and we're just going to roll this out. We want to make it, I guess, about a ½ an inch thick. Okay. Or as close to it as we can. It doesn't have to be a perfect square or round or anything like that, because you're going to cut your donuts out of this. Now I have a parchment lined cookie sheet here, and that's just to put them down for now. We're not baking these, we're frying these the way donuts should be done. So what I want to do is just cut them out and then lay them out, and then we have to let them rise again for another about a ½ hour, 45 minutes or so. Again, in a warm place. So I'll cover them with a lint-free towel, and I'll just put them back in the oven again. Okay, so I have this measuring cup, just about the size that I want to do, because I'm assuming they're going to blow up a little bit when we fry them. So, I mean, if you have a biscuit cutter, you can use that. If you have cookie cutter, if you want to use that. But I'm guessing that's about the size I want to do. Okay, so I'm just going to cut a bunch of these out. And then we'll come back after about a ½ hour or so, once they've risen again. And we'll fry these up. And then we do the fun part. We make our cannoli filling and we stuff them. Alrighty? So I'll see you in a little bit when it's time for the frying. We're right at about 350 now. So I'm just going to turn my heat down a little, so hopefully it doesn't keep rising. Plus, when you put these in, that should usually it drops it. Once you drop some stuff in the fryer, it'll drop the temperature a little bit. Okay, so let's get going. I'm going to use my spatula here to put these in. Let's see if it starts to fry up. Yep, it's sizzling up. Now you want to do it about 3 minutes on each side. Okay. and then flip them. And then get them out. So let me time it here. Okay, go. And there they are. Look at those. They came out pretty darn good, I'll tell you what. Now granted, they're not all uniform, but what two donuts are actually exactly alike? I mean, they're still squishy and hot and soft. We're going to let these cool for just a minute or two because we got to be able to handle them. I got my piping bag ready. I hate piping. I'm going to get my stuff for my cannoli filling, which is only, I think, like 4 ingredients. We're going to whip that together real quick, and then we're going to start piping it into these donuts to make donolis today. Donolis. I didn't invent this one, but we're going to try it. Be back. Okay, so I don't even have to show you how to make this one. This is 4 ingredients. 2 cups of ricotta cheese. It's 2/3 of a cup of powdered sugar. It's 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and it's 1/3 of a cup of mini chocolate chips, okay? If you can find them. If not, I mean, I guess you could process the regular size ones just to make them smaller pieces. All you're going to do is just mix this together in a bowl till it's all incorporated and it's an even mixture. Okay, and then you're just going to put it into your piping bag, pick them up, fill them up, alrighty? Then when we're done, we'll sprinkle some powdered sugar over the tops of these, and we'll give it our taste test today, okay? I'm not going to let you watch me pipe because I suck at it, and all it's going to do is give you a reason to laugh and ridicule me, and I won't have that on my show. Alrighty? So we'll be back in a little bit. Maybe I'll change my mind. It depends on how well it's going. Alright? Alrighty. There they are. My cream-filled donuts today. My donolis. Because they're a donut cannoli hybrid combo. Okay? And we're just going to take one of these. Let me just get a plate. Because I know it's going to go all over the place. Give this one a taste today. The trick too is, because I've never made donuts before, aside from the cannoli filling, which I have made before, I want to see how the donut part tastes, because that's the real key. It shouldn't be a sweet donut at all as far as the cake part of the donut, because it should be your jelly or your cream or whatever you're putting in it, your powdered sugar, that actually sweetens your donut. That's what I think. Otherwise you're going to have too sweet of a mix. But anyway, let's give it a try. You know what? This doesn't even need a filling. The donut itself is perfect. It's like this delicious, fresh, hot fried donut. I mean, if you just made glazed donuts out of these without the filling. But it was cream-filled day, so I had to put something inside of it because otherwise it would be glazed donut day. But I'm sure there is a glazed donut day coming up, and we'll have to do this again. Maybe put a different spin on it. But anyway, see, you got some nice cannoli filling in there. The donut is soft and fresh and hot. Ah, perfect. You don't have to make them, people. There's plenty of donut places you can go to get a cream-filled donut today. But it's always fun to try it. Alrighty? We'll see you tomorrow.